Yes, we are live for the second time, and our guest today is Leslie Urbas from Florida, expert in nutrition and well-being. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, so welcome in our second coffee break. What time is it now in America?
Eastern time zone, it's 11 a.m.
Okay, 11 a.m. Yeah,
Yes.
and how are you doing today?
Wonderful. My kids are in the background though because they're home with COVID. So if you hear little voices, that's why.
Yeah, yeah. So, can you a little bit explain to our community in general what is an expert in nutrition and well-being doing?
Yeah, of course. So as you said, I'm Leslie Urbas. I'm a registered dietitian and a personal trainer, which basically means right now I have 12 plus years of experience in helping people do what I call mindset dieting. And that's really, and it incorporates every aspect of well-being. So most of the time when you think about nutrition or fitness, you think of a mainstream diet where it's like, oh, I could follow that diet plan or I could eat this, not that, right? Whereas I come from more of a holistic being and understand that the pieces of food really involve emotional, social, economic, family history reasons why we choose to eat what we eat and how we eat, and how all of that really plays into how the business is running, how the CEO is running, how people are running, and that really changes the overall well-being component. I always joke for anybody that runs a business, when you run your business, you don't hire somebody to do what you do, right? If you love to coach, you don't hire somebody to be the coach. You hire someone to do all the stuff you don't want to do. But when it comes to dieting, what we do is we take away all the things we love and then do the rest, right? It doesn't make any sense. We approach our diet backwards in terms of how we approach life.
Yeah. Now, you on your LinkedIn title, you are mentioning that you are adding life energy to business people, to busy business people. What do you mean with life energy?
Yeah, of course. So I like to think about it as, think about when you're on vacation, right? Or you're someplace new and you're exploring, and then there's like, ooh, you never have that 3 o'clock, like, I just want to take a nap, right? But when we're in the middle of, I don't know, building a landing page or something, it's like, I have no desire to do this. I'm tired. I don't feel like it, right? So there's a different zest. And what I mean by life energy is that every day should be able to be present with that. Every day, what you're eating, what you're doing, how you're living should be that life energy. You should have just as much zest. Like people tell me all the time, you don't have to work on the weekends. It's like, this isn't work to me. I love what I'm doing, right? That is my passion. It's my dharma. I want to get that out into the world and help as many people to feel the same way. So it's not like a task check mark for me. Whether I'm on vacation or I'm just in my front room, it's the goal of being able to have that. And that's the life energy I want people to have. And in order to do that, it is through things like food, nutrition, wellness, well-being kind of stuff.
Uh-huh. And yeah, you mentioned it's like your dharma, your mission to do this. Where is it coming from? Where did you saw that this is really your mission?
Yeah. So, I think when I was in sixth grade, I asked my mom like for a candy bar in the middle of the day, and she was like, "You should eat the apple. It has more nutrition." And I was like, "What does that mean? What does that mean?" And then I became obsessed with food and, why is the donut less good for me? Why is it better to eat the apple? And when I was in college and I got to learn exactly how food digests and what it does on the inside, my brain just went crazy in terms of every little piece of information that I could get. And that's when I realized that there's just so many things that people can learn if they learn the pieces of what's going inside of them. And that's really why I fell in love with this, because I just wanted, them to be able to see what it was like to be able to control how you're feeling just based on the food that you're eating.
Yeah, yeah. And then you have two components. It's like nutrition and exercise, or do you have more?
Correct. So there is a little bit more. For me personally, I do the nutrition and exercise, but I do also work with a hypnotherapist and with a physical therapist as well, because I truly believe that it all stems from somewhere. Kind of how I said, you know, socioeconomical and emotional reasons why we eat. We eat certain foods based on how we feel. We choose to eat certain foods based on how much money is in the bank. It's like if I don't have enough money to go get, crab legs and a steak dinner, I'm not going to go grab those crab legs and a steak dinner. I'm going to go, grab a can of tuna or something. So because of those pieces, hypnotherapy and some subconscious work and things like that really has to come into play in order for you to get results and keep them. It's not just here's a blanket thing you need to do, and then, you get the result and then it all goes out the window. Instead, it's really transforming yourself to get the result you want without having to give up the life you lead.
Yeah, yeah. Um, Now, yeah, you have these two components. Is it one bigger than the other? Well, how is it? How do you create that mix? Like, for example, I'm a CEO. I'm contacting you. How do you start with that CEO?
Yeah, so we always start with food and nutrition because that's the
Yeah,
biggest piece, right? What you're putting in, you literally are what you eat, right? That they don't get that wrong. They don't get that wrong. You literally are what you eat. So we start there, and then as I can learn more about you to help you develop your plan, we pull in the other pieces, right? Rome wasn't built in a day. So if we tried to attack everything in one day, you'd be like, this girl is crazy, and I'm never going to get the results that I want because you're overwhelmed. Just like you didn't build your business, on day one. You started with just yourself, and maybe you have 5 or 6 employees or 20 or 40 employees, right? You added those on bit by bit, and that's really how we need to take nutrition. But to get the best results, we start with the nutrition piece and then add on the other things as we can go forward.
yeah, yeah. Here in Europe, yeah, it's like for the moment, well-being is HR concern number one. I don't know in America, is that the same? Is that also that important, or don't you see these same stuff coming up?
So I think it depends on how new the company is, if that makes sense, or if they're paying attention to those trends. Some, I think, it's very much like, how conscious are they? How aware are they? Are they more of a like we just keep implementing doing, or we hand them a band-aid of we'll send you to the gym so you can get results by getting a gym membership. So I think it depends on where they're at, very much like how you teach through, like when you do their scan, depends on where they're at as a company. I think that everybody needs the well-being piece, but certain companies are just blind to that's the piece they need.
Yeah, and the health aspect, how important is that for well-being?
That, I mean, I believe that's number one, right? So, I mean, think about it. If you think about health in terms of anything, as if you are the CEO or if you're, running all the things that you do, if you don't have your health, how do you keep up? How do you stay on top of things? And
Mm.
so it's sort of like if you had to step out of your business for 2 weeks because you did get COVID and it knocked you on your butt, would your business still be able to run? Would you truly believe and have faith in those people, right? That's a good answer of that. Like, if you're worried about your health that much, that's a good piece. Now, if you have all those things running for you, great. But what about all the other employees? Or what about, if you are gone for that 2 weeks, how many other things can be impacted? So our health is really the grounding of everything, right? Health, money, and happiness are kind of like all there on the same level, right? We have to have the money in order to get the food to be healthy, and then we need to be healthy to be happy, because if we're not healthy and you're having that fallout in the middle of the day of not having enough energy, then that's not going to help you to progress onward, right?
Yeah, yeah. And why is it then that is in a lot of cases the first aspect that is dropping? Like they don't have time, they don't have, I don't know, they don't have the power, yeah, to keep on eating healthy, they don't take time to eat well. They why is that? That is the first thing that like nutrition and food is like, and exercising, that is dropping out the moment that something happens, of pressure is there or whatever. Why is it that people quit?
So I think there's two reasons. One is because people think, okay, let's think about this from like a money perspective. Like, I don't have the money or the time to do that. Like, I'll worry about that when I need it. I'm young, I'm only 30, 40, 50, and I'm doing great. Like, I don't have any health issues, so I'll worry about it when I need it. So that's an aspect. But I think the other piece is just in terms of values. I think it depends on the culture you were raised in and the family you were raised by, right? So many people are raised with health comes last, right? They see their parents who, took them to drive-throughs, or it was basically open up a box and cook a meal, right? So that's how they learned. And so health comes last, or they were raised with, we just are a sick family. We have these health problems. It's just as normal as somebody that was raised with money problems, right? We have to work hard to make money, or along those lines, it's part of the environment there. So I see that that's a lot of reasons why, or just lack of that, time and money is always the issue. Like, oh, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah. Do you have another approach when you are guiding an individual, or a group, or a division, or a company? Is there another approach?
Yeah, so I really approach everybody the same way, whether I'm talking to one or in multiples, because no one is the same, right? This is not a very similar like how you do. You don't go into each business and do the exact same thing, because each business is an entity. Each person is their own, being, uniqueness. So when I go into, talking to a person, yes, obviously it's a smaller scale of what I'm doing, but ideally, whether I'm talking to the person or to the business, first thing is, what do you want? What's the picture? Like, tell me what you're imagining. If you're imagining being able to sit down with that steak dinner and the crab legs, or the, taking the vacations and speaking on all these stages and enjoying the cuisine and stuff, if that's what you're imagining, we have to get you the plan that works for that. If you want to do that and then your employees just want to know how to eat healthier for themselves or eat healthier for their own families, and to help them with their well-being, so that way they can do their pieces of the puzzle for the business better, it goes hand in hand in terms of like, we start with your goals, and then we go to nutrition, and then we go into all the other pieces and components that can go into that, so you become one overall healthy well-being.
Mhm. Yeah. Now, one of our viewers asked me, "Can you ask the question, the energy dip? Like everybody knows, like the energy dip. Yeah. Like I don't know when is it starting? Is it starting immediately after having lunch, or after having something to eat? When is it starting, and how is it? Yeah. How is it caused? Is it occurring?"
Yeah, so a lot of people experience an energy dip after the lunch meal for multiple reasons. So my top three reasons for that is, one, they don't eat a valid breakfast. So because this lunch meal becomes the first meal that they're eating, their body's sole focus for the next, 2 hours is digest that food, get the energy. So blood flow is everywhere, right? But once we eat the food, the blood flow goes to the digestive tract, which is why we were always taught, like, don't swim on a full stomach, or don't go work out on a full stomach, because your body's sending the blood flow there. And if we then go do something, now the body has to send the blood flow back out. So we feel that dip because the blood flow goes to our GI tract to help it, do what it needs to do. So that's one of them. Typically caused with a higher increase of sleep, wanting to sleep if you didn't get a good breakfast, because your body's really lacking. The second piece to that energy dip can be, just from the fact that you're feeling that because now the blood flow isn't so much in the brain, it's coming down to like the brain sending the signals to go to the digestive tract there. And then the third reason is actually not food related, but that we take in all of the information from our eyes. So the reason why we're feeling that is because now that the blood flow is focused down in our stomach, we've never given our eyes rest. So to help us, what I encourage people to do is to start taking mental breaks. Start with 30 seconds to a minute each hour. Close your eyes. because if you do that, you'll notice that you won't have as much of that, dip after lunch, because you will have allowed your eyes to take breaks. And even though the blood flow is concentrated in your stomach, you won't have that much like, no, I just kind of want to conk my head over and take a nap.
Mhm. We have a visitor sending us a message. I'm Kate, CEO, health advocate in the corporate world, millennials and Gen Z. Happy to speak on well-being. So you see, like people from all over the world are joining us in and cheering up this coffee break. Now you were talking about sleep. How important is sleep, and what's the correlation with the energy you're then feeling during the day?
Yeah, of course. So, I mean, sleep is absolutely vital, right? We've learned all the, I'm sure lots of people have read tons of research on, sleep and how it affects everything throughout the day, right? Sleep affects our hormones of telling us when we're hungry and when we're not hungry. Sleep affects our stress hormones. Sleep affects all of those things. So, if we're not getting a good night's rest, that can impart on all those things. Now, sleep can, it can be medical, where we do need to, go to a sleep study, but it can also just be what you're eating throughout the day, how you're allowing your body to be throughout the day, and all of those well-being pieces that need to kind of tie into that in order for you to get good sleep. It's not just, okay, 15 minutes before bed, I won't look at any blue screen. There's a lot more to it, especially throughout the day.
Yeah. Yeah, it's your mission to bring this to. Is it mainly to companies that you want to bring it? When are you happy? When is your dream fulfilled?
It's a great question. So my biggest dream is to speak on stages for corporations or for individuals, and really just empower people to understand that living based on a diet is not fun. What's funny is that Oprah keeps coming into my awareness. Everybody's like, you should be the dietitian for Oprah, because she has that story of the cycle, right? And why? Because her socioeconomic class does not tell her to count her Weight Watcher points. Her socioeconomic class is so much higher. So that cycle, you are getting to where you need to go, whether you're a business owner of one or a business owner of 20, 50, 200 million employees, whatever it may be. And food is such a big part of that. And my goal in life is to teach people that food is not the enemy. It's not restrict, 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 get rid of everything that is supposedly bad for you. It's learning how to be and eat for yourself, and to be able to be like, I want that cookie, or I really don't want that cookie, and having that and being empowered, just like you are in business, to make a decision, yes or no. And that's how I want it to be with health and well-being and with living your life. And that's what I want to do. I would say I would feel like I accomplished my dreams when I was able to help those people by standing on that stage. I do really well on camera and in interviews, and people are always like, how do you do it? You've never done it. And it's like, I don't know. It's just what I love to do personally. I was always chosen to speak for the team in school, and that would be my ultimate, passion, whether it's one person or a million people at once. That would be my goal.
Yeah. So okay, then let's do a test. So I'm for all the CEOs watching now. You get like 1 minute to convince them why they should bring in healthy nutrition and exercise and well-being in their company, and why they should contact Leslie Urbas.
Yeah. So I would say the biggest reasons why you would want to do it is because you're noticing that well-being is a very important piece, right? So as you said, HR has figured that out. And what you want is something that will stick forever. You're not looking for that Band-Aid solution. You're not looking for the gym membership or the diet program. You're looking to actually help your employees to change their lives. So that way they're transformed, you're transformed, your business is transformed, and you never have to take the step back. This is the most customized plan that you will ever get. It's not an answer of, here is your Weight Watchers diet, or here is your piece of paper to follow. It is, this is your life and this is how you want it to look. Now let's get your nutrition and your fitness and your well-being there to meet you at your life, instead of having to go meet the diet instead.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Do you have an advice for the people in our community?
Yeah, of course. So my best advice I always like to give people is that when you're going to implement anything, if you are looking for weight loss or well-being, ask yourself, in 3 months, would I still be doing this? Or does this have an end date, right? Is it like a 21-day challenge or a 75-day challenge? If that's a piece of that, you're probably not going to see the results you want, because anything that has an end date isn't good, right? You don't give your business an end date, right? You don't say, if we don't have this amount of money by 90 days, we're just done as a business, right? So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is don't skip the breakfast, just as everybody teaches, because it will help with that midday, bite there. And the third piece is find the person that speaks to you. Everybody thinks I can do health and well-being on my own. I can just do it on my own. But the truth is that to run your business, you need help. Don't sacrifice your health just because everybody says you can do it by Googling. So that would be my best advice.
Yeah, great. Thank you very much. We are through our time. So we thank you from Happiness at Work to be here and for all the advice and your promotion for a healthier business. And yeah, let's keep in touch and see what we can do in the future.
Agreed.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.